So what I'm doing today is hopefully not sliding down this hill and trying to get this new round sighted in. The last time I used this bullet, this is the Berger 144 grain VLDH maybe. I was running it 43.7 grains and I was getting primer blows during the summertime. So I went ahead and dropped it down. I'm going to test 2 bullets each. 43.0, 43.2, and 43.4. And what I'm looking for is consistency in velocity. And I'm fairly certain I got my Crony lined up here. Had to do a little bit of work on my chronographer because I kind of ripped out the positive power line the last time I was out here because it was freezing temperatures, and it's post snow right now. It's actually going to warm up to almost 50 degrees today, but that's Texas for you. So, all right, we're chasing velocity. Not so much accuracy right now, because if I could get my velocity consistent, then the accuracy will come. My cheek riser's a little too high, or AKA I've eaten a little too much during the winter time, meaning my face is fatter. That one was 29.52. Same hop. 29.44. Primer blue. I don't get that, man. It was a little stiff when I was pulling it down, so let me see where that primer is. All right, we'll go to the next one. 43.2 grains. All right, that felt good. I think the last one, the shoulder was bumping really tight. $29.73. See, that one looks good. All right, that felt good. $29.84. Little stiff there. Brass looks okay. All right, 43.4. That felt good. $3,004. Massive jump. 31.11. First shot, the primer pop, stacked right on top of each other. Fastest load at 31.11, but 100 FPS velocity difference. So we're gonna go with this one here. I really have been impressed with the Alliant RL16 powder. First time I saw a guy post information about it, he was using a 22-inch barrel, and I've got a 24-inch on mine, and he was getting upwards of 2,800 FPS. So I went ahead and tried it, and so this is a custom Krieger barrel. It's a little bit longer, but let me flip this around real quick. I'm gonna have to look into figuring out why the primer blew out of this one. I'm gonna guess the shoulder was off, because I do a pretty good job of measuring my pockets to make sure that they're in spec. The first load at 43.0 grains had only a single-digit FPS spread. I'll most likely use that one if I could figure out what's going on here. Looking at the 43.2 grains, which is giving me roughly about 25 FPS more, I'm not seeing any indications why I shouldn't use it. Yeah, the primers look good. But when you get to the 43.4, massive jump. Look at that. That's over 100 FPS jump there. and a little bit of a bark on the brass right there. And the primer's definitely flat in that one. So we'll do some inside measurement of these cases, see what's going on. But I'm going to stay somewhere between 43, 43.2. And we'll do one more test round on those, and we'll be good to go for the summer. That primer should be reading at about 0.006, but if you look here, it is definitely out of spec. The question I have is, I don't know if I loaded it out of spec or if it blew out of spec after firing it and the primer blowing out. I like to do a lot of post-case measurements, and this is the variance that's going on. So the overall length on the cases was only 0.004. The neck variance was only 0.001, which is completely awesome. The shoulder was 100% consistent, and the base was 100% consistent, minus the blown primer. So where the difference was on here is the shoulder was 0.05 or 0.01 difference. Most of my shoulders were right at 0.64, but that one is a 0.65, 0.64 there, 0.64 there, 6.4, 6.4. So very consistent. And the base on all these was 100%, 7.1, 7.1, 7.1, 7.1, 7.1. And the base was at 0.704, so it definitely rapidly expanded towards the bottom there. So I'm going to assume the reason that this blew out is that the shoulder was touching, and it was, you could tell it was really hard for me to pull that chamber there. So after doing some reviews on this, I am just going to go ahead and use the 43.2 grains, even though it is a higher variance on this. I did some evaluations on some former shooting that I was doing, and when I was at the 43 grain velocities during the summertime, this was all over the place, as much as a 30 FPS spread. So I'm going to use 43.2 grains, which my earlier loads only showed it about a 9 FPS difference. So between a 9 and 11 and an 8 and 30, this is going to be a lot more consistent with 43.2 grains. So I'm going to go ahead and load that up, and we will sight in my scope tomorrow.